Hello guys, I hope everyone would have gone through the coding question of this week. So let us now dive into the first problem. So the first problem is like we'll be getting two strings and we have to print the longest to common middle substring. Like for the simple logic, you have to find the middle element of the two strings and you have to compare it first. If it is equal, you can proceed further, else you can print -1. So if it is equal, you have to compare the left and right strings of both the left and right character of the both string. If it is equal, you can keep on comparing the left and right of each string. Okay, so all the equal characters will be printed as an output. So it will be like for example, for this input test case 1, both the middle elements are n and n. Okay, so the next left element is O, here also it's O, and the next right element is L, and here also it's L. So and the next left element is I, and here also is I. So like that. Until the loop breaks down, we will be comparing, and finally you will be printing the common characters. Okay. So let us now dive into the solution. First, we'll be solving it using Python. Yeah, the first step would be like I have to get two strings which is as A and B. So let me just get it as list. You can also manipulate with a string, that's yours. Okay, input dot strip and equal to list input dot strip. Okay, so then I'm finding the length of the string A and storing it a variable called len of A. Okay, and likewise I'm doing it for B2, and then I have to calculate the middle element, right? For the middle element I'm having a variable called half of A, so that len of A double modulus of 2, so that it doesn't have any decimal points. And half of B, likewise I'm calculating for B2, so this will have the middle element index, right? So now we'll be getting the implementation part. So if A of half of A is not equal to B of half of A, so I'm just comparing the middle element of two strings. If it is not equal, I'm just printing -1. If it is equal, I'm just carrying out the next manipulation. So the next manipulation is like I have to find the left and right characters of both the strings, right? So let me say a variable called left of A. So this will basically have the left index of A. Okay, so it will be like for initially it will be like half of A -1. Okay, the middle element previous will be the left, the middle element after will be the right? And likewise for B, I'm just having a variable called left of B -1. Okay, so similarly I'm just doing it for the right element, right character for both the strings. Half of A plus 1 and right of B will be half of B plus 1. Right? So we are pretty much set with the initialization. Now we'll just check like while left of A like it shouldn't exceed beyond 0 index. The left should not exceed beyond 0 and the right should not exceed beyond the length of the string, right? So that is a condition for this while loop. So the string doesn't go index out of bounds. While left of A is greater than or equal to 0 and left of B is greater than or equal to 0. So this is one condition for left, and likewise I'm just doing for the right also. So right of A should be lesser than len of A and right of B should be lesser than len of B. Okay, so if these corresponding left elements and right elements are not equal, the loop should break. Okay, so if A of left of A is not equal to B of left of A, give a equal to symbol over here, or any of the conditions satisfied means you have to break this loop. A of right of A is not equal to B of right of A, right of B, okay. So out of the while loop, I'm just inside the while loop, I'm just incrementing the right positions and decrementing the left positions. So left of A will be -1, and left of B and right of A is equal to 1, and right of B is equal to 1. So finally out of the loop I have to print the string from the left to the right, like the loop will automatically break out of it if it is not equal, right? So I'll just get the correct left and right value until the loop was executed. So you just need to do right. You can just take any of the string. You can either take A or D. So both will give the same answer. In my case, I'm just giving A. Since I have used a list, I am just using join to print all the characters in a single line. Left of A plus 1, 2, right of A. Okay. So I'm pretty much done with the logics. Now let us run. So for this, I'm just taking the first test case and just copy pasting it. Yeah, getting the correct output. So you can just check it out with the other two cases. It works pretty much fine. So let us now do it in C language. I'm just taking my compiler and taking this code. So the logic is gonna be the same. I'm just gonna change the syntax, and some steps would it'll be like the same, but I'm just gonna change the syntax. Okay, for this I need header files like stdio.h, and for string manipulations I need string.h. Okay, so let me just include it, and .h, given the main function. So firstly I'm gonna declare a character array. It will be and again a character array, and now I'm gonna get these two arrays from the user. So it will be like not in the same line, it's in the left line. Okay. And then as like in we did, we'll have a integer called length of A. This will have length of A, and length of B will have length of B. Okay, so int of half of A will have and int of half of B will have the length of. Okay, so now I'm just checking out the middle elements. So if A of half of A is not equal to B of half of B, you can just give any variables names. You don't have to give such a big name. To make you just understand the concept, I'm giving such a variable name. Okay, I'm just printing -1. Okay, so else we name variables called left of A, this would be like half of a minus 1 and int left of b, which is like half of b minus 1 and int right of a, which is like half of b plus 1. Sorry, it's a. Right of v will be half of b plus 1. Okay. So now we are going to run the for while loop. So while left of a is greater than or equal to 0 and left of b is greater than or equal to 0 and right of a is greater than len of a and right of b is greater than len of b. It is so if the corresponding left and right characters are not equal, I'm just breaking out the loop. If a of left of a is not equal to b of left of b, or a of right of a is not equal to b of right of b, means I'm just breaking down the loops. So out of the if loop, I'm just decrementing the left values and incrementing the left values. 1 and right of b minus 1 is equal plus equal to 1 and right of b plus equal to 1. So finally out of while loop, I'm just printing. For that I need a for loop. For I is equal to 0, I is not equal to 0, it will be like left of a plus 1. We can also give left of b plus 1, it's not an issue. Lesser than right of a and I plus plus. Character c and a of I. Okay, I hope I have done. Okay. So let us now run the second test case. Yeah, it works perfect. You can also check out with other test cases. Now we are done with the first question, and the second question is like a pattern. So you'll be given a string and you have to print in the given pattern. So when you understand the pattern, the logic is much easier. So when you analyze this, there will be a string. The first row will be the first character and the last character, and the second row will be the second and the second last, and the third row will be the middle element for this particular string. And when you see like the next few rows will be like the reverse of this, and the elements will be swapped. Okay, so it will like first last and the corresponding second and second last, third and third last, middle element, and the same thing will be in the like in this order, and the elements will also be swapped. So when you understand the logic, it's pretty much easier. And you can see the spaces is like the first row will have n spaces. N is nothing but your length of the string, and the second row will have n minus 2 into I spaces. When you see it clearly, you can also see how much space. And when you see the spaces before the character, you may see like the first row will have 0 spaces and the second row will have 1 space, third row will have 2 spaces. So you can see each and everything getting filled up like that. So let us now put our logic into this. For this, I'm just gonna do it in Python first. Let me get the string I'm getting as a list. Input dot So first I'm just having a variable called length which would hold the length of the string, and the variable called h which will hold the length, it is the middle element index. Okay, so I'm gonna divide this particular question into three halves. The first half will have the first upper inverted triangle, and the second half will have the middle element printing, and this third half would have the triangle stuff. Okay, so we'll just break down this question into this so that it might be a much easier for you. You can also put your own logic. Okay, so the first thing is like for I in range of h parent space into I. So I will be obviously from 0, so the first row will have 0 spaces and the second row will have 1 spaces. So there's no deal with that. And the first thing would, you should print the first element, right? So you have given, and then I have to print the spaces, that is n minus 2 into I spaces, and then I'm gonna print again the character which is the last character. So how to compare the last character is like you can give n, since you will be needing like the last character and the second last, third last, you can be decrementing by I, and we know that the indexes will be from 0 to n minus 1, so it will be minus 1. Okay, so yeah, why have gave, that will be a question, why did I give h over here? So since this is like I have computed the taken the values before the middle element, the for loop will go before h, it won't include h. Okay, now we are done with the first half. The second half will be like the middle element printing. So they'll be like this would basically having the spaces called h plus 1, that is a middle element index plus 1 would be the previous spaces, and then you will be having the middle element, and then you will be having the spaces which will be the middle. So you should be counting like what those spaces and the character. And the third half I'm just printing, so it will go as like the reverse order, right? So it will be like h minus 1 and to the 0 index, so I'm giving minus 1, so it is in the reverse order, so I need minus as the step. So printing would be like first space, this would be the same, and the second thing would be like we should be swapping these things like for this we had the last element at the last, right? We have the first element and the last element, second and the second last. So here will be like the last element, first element, second last, second element. Okay, so it will be like we should swap those spaces, and the remaining remains the same. The spaces will be remaining the same. There's no such any changes, and yeah, that's beside. Yeah, that's it. We are done with the code. Now let me check for the second test case. Yes, it runs perfect. We have the same pattern. Okay, so let us now try this logic using Python. Sorry, C. Okay, the logic remains the same, but you got to work on the indexes, and since we don't have anything like indexing in Python like this, so we'll be sorry, not the indexing, we don't have a space into I characters, we don't have the string manipulation in C, so you will be having an extra loop in C, that's all. There's nothing much different. Okay, so let's not remove this code and commenting this. Okay, so the first thing is I need variable header is like h string.h. Okay, so the main function, so the first thing I need a character array I'm getting the character array from the user. In the integer colon I have the length of the array. And integer call h, I have the half. Okay. So I need variables called I, j, k for iterations. Okay. I is equal to 0, I is lesser than h, the same thing, I plus plus. Oops. So here you will be having an extra while or for loop, you can use anything for printing the space. So it will be like k is equal to 0. This will be used to print the space. So for j is equal to 0, j is lesser than I, j plus plus. So this will print the spaces before the character, and k will print the spaces in the middle. Okay. I'm printing the space, and then I'm printing the character, that is the middle element. That is not the middle element, like you'll be having the first character over here, and then I'm printing the middle spaces. So while k is not equal to n minus 2 into I, we will be printing the spaces. And I'm incrementing the k value every time. And out of this, I'm printing the last thing, that is a of n minus I minus 1. Okay. So we have done with the first half of the pattern. So now we'll be working on the middle one. So for the middle one, we need a for loop for printing the space, that is h plus 1 space. So outside of where should I, that will be a question, where should I give the println statement, because there is no automatic println in C, right? So out of this you can give it, and I'm printing the middle element over here, and again I'm gonna print n spaces. So the logic remains the same, but I'm just changing the syntax as per C. Okay. And out of this, I'm gonna print a new line. So the second task would be like, this would be the same, but you will be swapping the characters, right? So I'm just copying this for loop and I'll make the necessary changes. Placing over here. So the for loop condition would be like from h, and this will go greater than or 0, and this will be decrementing, and k is equal to 0, and the first element printer will be the last element, and here we will be printing I. Yeah, I'm pretty much done. So let me check whether it runs right. Okay, we have a bunch of errors. I didn't give a semicolon over here. Okay. Then h undeclared. Yeah. The line. Let me check again. Okay, I didn't give a semicolon over here. Where is the for loop? Yeah, well. I'm giving the second test case. It works pretty much. No. the middle element is printing twice, right? So let us now check. So it will be like h minus 1. Since I have already taken the middle element, it will be like I is equal to h minus 1. So that is the mistake I did. Yeah, it was pretty much fine. You can just check it out with other test cases. Yeah, I'm done with my 2 questions of this week. So if you have any doubts, you can reach out to our discussion forum. Thank you.